This video lecture is on ABO blood group system. The ABO blood group system is the most important blood group system in human blood transfusion. They are found on platelets, epithelium, and cells other than erythrocytes. AB antigens can also cause an adverse immune response to organ transplantation. The associated anti-A and anti-B antibodies are usually IgM antibodies, which are produced in the first years of life by sensitization to environmental substances such as food, bacteria, and viruses. What does it tell us? It means that antibodies are become well developed after birth. That's around 3 to 6 months, as it needs to be sensitized by the environment. They are usually IgM, although we cannot disregard the fact that there would also be IgG form antibodies of your ABO. The AB antigens, A and the B antigens of the ABO system, need to be typed, as these can also cause tissue rejection during organ transplantation. This is the ABO blood group antigens present on red blood cells. According to the theory of Landsteiner, the individual's phenotype or the blood type of an individual would indicate the antigens that are found in the red cell or cell membrane of that particular individual. So if you are group A, the antigens that you have on your RBC would be A antigen. If your group B, it's B. If you're group AB, that would be both the A and the B antigens. But if you're group O, you don't have the antigens. So there would only be A and B antigens for the ABO with the H antigen as its precursor form. Now, it is also told to us by Landsteiner in his theory, that the antibody of the ABO antigens would always be the opposite of the antigens present on the red cell membrane. So if you are type phenotype A with A antigen, the antibody would be anti-B. If you are phenotype B having B antigens, your antibody would be anti-A. If you are both antigens, if you are phenotype AB rather, having both A and B antigens, then you do not have the antibodies. And if you are type O, phenotype O, meaning you do not have detectable antigens, so what you have would be both anti-A and anti-B antibodies. Just a little history of the ABO system. This is Karl Landsteiner, who discovered the ABO blood group system in 1901. He and five co-workers began mixing each other's red blood cells and serum together and then accidentally performed the first forward and reverse ABO groupings. So Landsteiner law, if an agglutinogen referring to antigen is present on red blood cell membrane, the corresponding agglutinin must be absent in the plasma. If an agglutinogen is absent on red blood cell membrane, then the corresponding agglutinin must be present in plasma. So same as what I have said a while ago, that the antigen of the person present in the red cell in its red cell membrane would indicate its phenotype, and that the antigen of that particular individual would have an opposite antibody of it. Okay. So importance of ABO, there are two principles. Almost all normal healthy individuals above 3 to 6 months of age have naturally occurring antibodies to the ABO antigens that they lack. These antibodies termed naturally occurring because they were thought to arise without antigenic stimulation, in which we have discussed, no, that an antigen or antibody is a product of antigenic stimulation, but that differs in the ABO since the antibodies exists, no, from fetal life. It exists, although it is not well developed yet, but it is present, okay, as naturally occurring antibodies without antigenic stimulation. These naturally occurring antibodies are mostly IgM class. That means that they are antibodies capable of agglutinating saline, low protein suspended red cell without enhancement and may activate complement cascade. So IgM are antibodies that best react at room temperature, and that is your saline medium. Okay, that is not placed under the water bath, okay, to inactivate them. It's just at room temperature and it is saline medium. So this would just show you the summary of what are the antigens and the antibodies present in the specific phenotype of the ABO blood group system. So ABO typing are of two types. We have the forward and the reverse typing. It is so-called forward since what we are detecting in the clinical specimen would be the antigens. Now, since it is antigen, so our clinical specimen would be the red cell suspension. And then the reagents used for this are your anti-A and anti-B sera, the yellow bird and the blue angel. Okay, so this is the reaction pattern of your forward typing. So these are the reagents. So what we detect in the clinical specimen would be the antigens present since we are using red cell suspension. So if you're type O, then you expect no anti-agglutination. If you're type A, agglutination and anti-A because that is specific antibody to react with this antigen. And if you're type B, it will agglutinate in anti-B. If you're type AB, it will agglutinate on both. The reverse typing determines the antibodies in patients or donors' cells, or rather, patients or donor cells. Reverse typing, this is typographical error, should be in the serum. So serum tested with reagent A1 cells and B cells. So our clinical specimen is serum, not donor cells, no? Since we are referring to antibodies. Reverse grouping is also known as back typing or serum confirmation. So this would be the reaction pattern for your reverse typing. Our reagents here would be A1 cells and B cells. So the reaction pattern would be the exact opposite of the forward typing reaction pattern for these four particular phenotypes. This is the blood group inheritance. This is how you do Paneth cell testing. Now, if you're going to match father's blood type, genotype, and mother's genotype, consider the allele genes, whether they are identical or not. If it's identical, we call it homozygous. If they are not identical, we call it heterozygous. So atin lang ipe-pair-pair yan for you to get the offspring's possible blood type for this. ABO antigen genetics, the presence or absence of the ABH antigens on the red blood cell membrane is controlled by the H gene. As I've said, ito yung ating converting antigen, no? The formation of your A and B antigens ay nanggagaling sa H gene that codes for the H antigen. Then the presence or absence of the ABH antigens in secretions indirectly controlled by the secretor gene. So, meron ding mga antigens present in the secretions if you are a secretor, meaning you have the secretor gene. It may be homozygous uppercase SESE or a heterozygous uppercase SE paired with lowercase se, but the fact that you have the uppercase that is dominant, so therefore it is expressed, you are secretor even if you're heterozygous. So it is H and the S gene. Okay, for biochemistry, the precursor sugar is your paragloboside glycan. This is actually having two molecules of galactose with N-galnac or GL-galnac, your acetylglucosamine, and then the glucose in the RBC. So all in all, four yon. Kasi dalawang galactose, isang GLC-NAC or your N-acetylglucosamine, and then the glucose. Okay, there are two types of the precursor. We have the type 1 in which there is 1,3 linkage. What is 1,3? The carbon 1 of your galactose is linked to carbon 3 of your N-acetylglucosamine. So that's type 1. Carbon 1 of galactose at one terminal end is linked to carbon 3 of your N-acetylglucosamine. So that's type 1. The type 2, using same sugar combination, they have a 1,4 linkage, meaning carbon 1 of your galactose is linked to carbon 4 of acetylglucosamine. Okay. The ABH antigens on RBC are derived from type 2, while type 1 would mean that the antigens are present in secretions like plasma. Okay? So I repeat, anong significance ng 1 and 2? Pag sinabi mong type 2, yun yung ating ABH antigens on the red cell. While the type 1 are the antigens present on the plasma. Question: if that would be the case, ma'am, can we use plasma instead as clinical specimen to detect presence of the antigens? What would be the answer? No. Okay. Why? We make use of plasma or serum for antibody identification, and we make use of your RBC in a form of RBC suspension for antigen identification. But why is it that there are antigens present in the plasma that we cannot detect? It has something to do with their biochemical configuration. Although may mga antigens in your type 1 present in plasma, but we cannot use it as clinical specimen for its identification because of their biochemical configuration. Ang type 1 natin antigens are solely or 100% glycolipids, while those type 2, 80% are glycoproteins and 20% glycolipids. Okay. As you have learned in your immunoserology, yung property of being immunogenic of a substance is when they are in protein biochemical configuration. Pag ito ay isang protein. Pero pag ito ay isang sugar or fats, talagang it is not immunogenic. That is the primary reason why we cannot detect the antigens that are present in plasma because they are 100% glycolipids. So therefore, they are not immunogenic, which means it cannot elicit an antigen antibody reaction. So therefore, we cannot detect its presence using serological methods. Okay. While in type 2, by all means we can because 80% they are glycoproteins, only 20 as glycolipids. So therefore, we make use the type 2 in detecting antigens that are present in the RBC. Okay, so this is the precursor structure, the one I've told you that there are 4 molecules of sugar because you have 2 molecules of your galactose, you have 1 molecule of your N-acetyl glucosamine, and 1 for glucose. So this is the precursor sugar. Okay, when your fucose sugar attaches to one terminal end of the galactose of that precursor sugar now will be converted to H gene, which codes for the formation of the H antigen. So ayan, naka-attach si fucose. The enzyme that catalyzes the attachment of your fucose to one terminal end galactose of the precursor sugar for your ABH antigen is your fucosyl transferase. So this is how your H antigen is formed. How about for the A antigen? Yung A antigen mo, ito yung ating H, this one. You have the fucose and then the galactose. If a sugar, N-acetyl D-galactosamine or the GalNAc attaches to the galactose terminal sugar to which the fucose have attached, that H antigen now will be converted to A antigen. No? May nakadikit na sugar dito, nag-link. And that sugar is your N-acetyl D-galactosamine. And the enzyme that catalyzes its attachment would be your N-acetyl galactosamine transferase. Okay? So this is the antigen that is present among phenotype A individuals. Okay. How about for the B? Ang sa B naman, what sugar will attach to that one terminal galactose to where fucose is linked to convert your H antigen to B antigen? It would be another galactose. Okay, so the adding of D-galactose to the galactose terminal galactose to which fucose sugar was attached will convert your H antigen to a B antigen. And this attachment is catalyzed by the enzyme galactosyl transferase. Okay. This is what is happening in an individual who is phenotype B. So if you are phenotype A and B, then you have both conversion of your H antigen for A and the B, which means you have the sugar, the galactose, and the N-acetyl galactosamine that will attach to the one terminal end of galactose to which fucose has been linked, so that to convert your H antigen respectively to A and B antigens if you are phenotype AB. Okay. If you are phenotype O, then therefore, there would be no conversion. So, ang mangyayari, if you are phenotype O, what you have is H antigens. You don't have A and B because there would be no conversion. Okay. What you have is only H antigen because you do not have all the materials, the raw materials for the conversion of your H to A and B antigens. That's why it stays as H antigen. So if we are to rank the ABO antigens from greatest to least to have H antigen in our red cells, O would be top 1, followed by A1, followed by A1B, followed by B, and then A2, then A2B. Okay, so that's from greatest to least. Ang pinakamarami would be O, followed by A1. So what does it tell you? Na all individuals with phenotype A with A1 subgroups, konti lang ang conversion. There would be less conversion of your H antigen to A1 antigens. Okay? Kaya rank 2 si A1 in terms of greatest to least containing H antigens. The next would be the Bombay group or the Bombay phenotype. The Bombay would have a lowercase h homozygous blood group, so also known as OH or the Bombay blood group. It's a rare blood group type. This blood was first discovered in Bombay, now known as Mumbai in India, by Dr. Y.M. Bendy in 1952. The HH, uppercase, lowercase h blood group contains one antigen, the H antigen, which is found on virtually all RBCs and is the building block for the production of the antigens within the ABO blood group. However, this is not the case for Bombay. Okay, because Bombay do not have H antigens. So even if they have the sugar for the conversion of your A and B antigens, but they do not have the H antigen. Wala silang ganun. So it can never be converted. So all of them would be phenotype O. Now, how does it differ from the um, standard type O? Yung standard type O natin, meaning wala lang yung ating mga A and B sugars, kaya hindi na i-convert si H antigens. So if you are to differentiate the two, sa dugo ng isang standard type O, they have the H antigens, H antigens and anti-A and anti-B, no? Antibodies. But for your Bombay group, anong nandun sa dugo nila? They have the anti-A, anti-B dahil type O sila, but they also have anti-H because they do not have the H antigen. So, what does this tell us? No, yung clinical significance niya in transfusion medicine. It is telling us that Bombay blood can only donate to Bombay blood. It cannot be that a Bombay O will donate blood for a standard O. Why is it so? Because in the blood of Bombay, you have anti-H. In the blood of a standard O, walang anti-H but it has H antigens which can react to the anti-H of a Bombay blood. So Bombay will only donate to Bombay and a standard O will only donate to a standard O. So that would end our discussion, this lecture, pre-recorded lecture on ABO blood group system.